Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming out today to celebrate who I looked up to as a really, really great guy for Ocean Township, Joe Palaia. Today's all about Joe Palaia. And if it wasn't for Joe, I probably wouldn't have my teaching license right now because your father, like I said, when I needed to get my license a little bit quicker than I, had anticipated, it was your father that helped me out with Joni over in her office and deal. And, it was always such a pleasure to deal with Joe in his office, and they did so many good things for our community. You're talking about a guy who was an educator, who became a principal, the mayor of the Township of Ocean, and he rose up to state senator, which was really fantastic. And one of his successors is over here, Senator Vingo Powell, who's representing this district. I want to thank everybody who's here today, and I want to thank Senator Gopal for being here, our Commissioner Director, Mr. Monmouth, Tom Arnone. We have Eric Anderson, Commissioner. We have our County Clerk today, Christine Hanlon, which is awesome. Love to have you here, Christine. Thanks for being out. We have our Deputy Mayor, David Fisher. We have Councilman Rob Acera, Councilwoman Geeta Kaplan, and newly sworn in councilman from the Board of Education, Jeff Weinstein. Thank you for being out here. We have our former deputy mayor, Rich Long. Where are you there, Deputy Dog? There he is. And of course, we have our former councilman and very instrumental in getting this day together, John Huss. Thanks for being out here, John. Glad you could be here as well. You get the applause for that, John. We have our... You can't hear either now? I know you can't see me, John, but we have our Director of Public Works, Steve Higgins. Where are you, Stevie? I saw you back there, Higgy. And we have our CFO, Ricky Gartz. Thanks, Ricky, for being out here. And we've got the ladies from Public Works as well out here, and our CFO. And you've got everybody out here supporting Joe Palaia. Thank you again. I would like to give a few people an opportunity to come up and speak, and I am going to start with Commissioner Director Tom Arnone because I know he's got another event that he has to get to, so come on up, Tom.
So I do have to share a little bit about the other event there, and that I have to go to. That it's an employee up at our fire academy that is 89. Works part-time now, but and she's decided to retire 100%. But, and where is Denise? I see, where? Oh, there you are, right there. And so I know I'm going to repeat myself over and over, but I'm going to continue to repeat myself over and over, year in and year after, because I truly owe, so much to Joe Palaia and that people probably don't know. First of all, he was an idol when I was mayor of Neptune City for many, many years. And I just remember that, mayor of Neptune City for a year. And then I decided to do this crazy thing and run for freeholder at that period of time. And it was a very internal, controversial situation when we ran. And I happened to be running against a gentleman that was from Middletown. Now, obviously, people that know Neptune City and Middletown, there's a lot more votes in Middletown than there are a lot more votes in Neptune City there. And I kind of didn't think I had too much of a chance to win there. But I did make one phone call. And I called the gentleman that I idolized, was Joe Palaia. And I said, Joe, what do you think I should do? And Joe said to me, you're running. And he goes, and we're going to win. I was like, oh, okay. Joe says you're going to win? You're going to win. At least I thought. At least I was banking on it there. But I will tell you, it was the way they structured it. It was retired officials could come in and put a vote in at that time. Well, the day of the election came at the American Hotel. And all of a sudden, you saw people come into that day to vote, retired officials, that I don't think people saw in years. But they were retired officials, and I won by 3 votes. And that's where my career started here, there. And something that's very special that, quite frankly, I'm not worthy of, but I'm honored to be part of. In Neptune High School, there are 3 elected officials in the Hall of Fame there in Neptune High School. And like I said, I don't feel I'm worthy of it, but I'm honored. And that's Joe Palaia, Harry Larison, and myself. So when I walk into Neptune High School and I see that, it's an honor. And it's an honor because that man was somebody that did things for everybody. And he should have a day every year. And it should never end. When we're not here, we got to make sure, and I know you will, Mayor and Council, to continue to make sure that this day goes on because of everything that he's done. So Denise, you know how much I love them and how much I love you and your whole family there. He truly was Mr. Monmouth and Mr. New Jersey. Thank you.
Tom, never a loss for words. Gotta love him. And of course, Denise Palaia is the daughter of Joe Palaia, who has also followed in her father's footsteps as an educator and now principal of Wayside Elementary School. So Denise, thank you for allowing us to honor your father each and every year. As Tom said, he really was truly an iconic individual within this town. And Denise, one other thing, he was my first swearing in Interlaken in 1999-2000 was your father. I asked him to come over and do that honor for me, and I'll tell you what, it really, I still have that picture, and it's a day that I will not forget, having your father there. Of course, it was a rough night the night before. We were all excited, but it was a good time. So I'd like to now call up one of his successors, who Joe has had a few of them in the 11th, but Senator Gopal would like to say a few words as well.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I did not have the honor of knowing your dad, but I have read a lot about him. And I was so excited the last election because I got almost 70% in Ocean Township. I was like, I have to have the record. Nope, I looked back. Joe Palaia didn't beat me once. He didn't beat me twice. He beat me every single election. 76%, 78%. And I was like, maybe the first one? Nope, 74%. His work on the Education Committee, everything he has done, he is a model. I go around, you should know, whether it's the Jersey Shore Arts Center in Ocean Grove, or multiple nonprofits. They don't tell me stories about other elected officials. They tell me about the work Joe Palaia did. And the work that he did early on in education, I've read so many of my bills I do is modeled off stuff that he actually lobbied us against. He actually was originally told us not to do county superintendents. He was right about that. It was a 1994 op-ed.
We disagree on that.
Well,
That's all right.
it might have caused more problems, but either way. So much of what he did, unfortunately, so many folks won't know, but I think it's incredible that the mayor and council here are honoring his memory, protecting his memory, and making sure that someone who truly was a bipartisan official is going to be remembered. So our office found two specific things that we wanted to present you with. One, I think you're in this photo, which was an election win. That's you.
Oh, wow, so cool.
Numbers up on the American Hotel.
Numbers up. That's 81% on this one.
Hey, Ben, don't even try getting there, all right?
And this was all of the this was an ad he placed in his first election that he won for Senate. And what I was amazed about, this was a creative ad, you should steal this time. He put all the grant things that he got in the state budget, that he got in there, and all of these things are still kind of legitimate today. The money that he put into Deal Lake, the grants he got with the Long Range Recreation Program that started it, so I thought this was a cool ad.
That's so good. Very nice.
Thank you, Senator. I love to see those pictures and things that Joe did. I mean, he really did so many great things for the 11th District.
But you do have to add one thing to this, and I do forget. He was probably, because he was, well, I would say he was one of two. You were probably the only two short people that played basketball for Neptune.
Who stays in the Hall of Fame, the basketball?
I know.
And you know, just to blow his head up a little more, they were both pretty good basketball players too. I mean, not that Tom needs his head blown up any more than it is now, but it's all good. All right, and I'd like to call up former councilman and friend of mine, John Huss, if you'd like to say a few words. I know you're never short for words, John, so I'd like to have you come up. And since you did know Joe probably almost as good as Denise did. Love to have you say a few words.
Close to it. First, I was taken back by the three people from Neptune High School, a Hall of Fame, because you got Larison and who else did we say?
And please, we're friends. We're friends. We no reason to insult now.
So Larison, Palaia, and the referee for that would be Arnone.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah, you had to be the referee because those two guys were like,
That's right. They're oil and water.
yeah, yeah. Well, Joe Palaia was probably my dearest friend. Besides, we christened the change of government back in 1963, and Joe went on in 1660. Give me 60s. 69. No, it was, Joe, we put together the United Citizens, 67, I guess it was, right? And Joe ended up, he was the only winner of our ticket, but he also ran away with everything. He used like 1,000 votes, more than anybody else on the ticket. And then Joe came around in 1971, and we had a campaign which was stop any more garden apartments. Jack Riley was the previous mayor, and Jack said, I want to have apartments from Asbury Circle to Eatontown Circle, with nothing but apartments. And Joe said, like hell. And so as it was, they got a pretty good start on it, but Joe put together the ticket, and the United Citizens put together the ticket in '71, and Joe became the mayor, and it was all song and dance from there. Joe did so much for the town. Never forgot the township though. We put. Somebody came up to me in Wakeman's the other day, about a week ago or so, and they wanted to know who Palaia was. And I said, well, he was a pretty good guy. And you talk about, you said got somebody 89. Well, you got somebody 89 right here. So it's not easy, But Joe led the United Citizens to wins in 71, 76, 75. And 80. Joe was unbelievable, really. When he went to the state, or the state senate, he got us money he took the Palaia Park from 208 acres to another 50, up to 250 acres. He went over in the west side on West End to deal. Anyhow, whatever. He met Sam Welts and put together with Sam. We got some land from Sam to build a pool. Right, that was Joe Palaia. That's you want to talk about going to the other side of the highway to Billy Goat Farm, and Joe took. We bought Billy Goat Farm, and then he got Seaview Mall to put up the building, the recreation building, all free. So Joe never forgot Ocean Township, and he's a super guy. Of course, Denise is probably the pride of Joe Palaia. He's it's something that if you know Joe, you know Denise. So anyhow, thank you, Joe. Loved you. Take care.
So Tom, I guess John's got you beat there, buddy. Sorry about that. Before we wrap it up, Denise, I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you like to come up and say a few words about Dad? As you're the one that knew him the best.
Just a couple things. One of the things that John said, when somebody came to his office and there was a problem, he probably didn't have a clue what to do. So he would know who to call to get an answer. He would pick up the phone, call somebody right away, and then he would hand the phone to the person.
Gram for me.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And they would give him the phone and they would do it. Now, I do the same thing. I always made fun of him. Dad, why do you keep giving the phone? Now I do it. The person has a problem, I pick up the phone, I know who to call, give the phone to the person. He was all about the people. He never lost an election, which is pretty amazing. It was all about the people, it really was. Every day he went into work, he would worry about, so-and-so came to his door, had a problem. And really, that's what was in his heart, and it's in mine too. My people at Wayside, my people of Ocean, all of you guys do an amazing job. It's thankless, but it's worth it. And he was in the Rider College Basketball Hall of Fame, by the way. But again, I thank all of you for coming. It means a lot to me and my family. My nephew Adrian is working right now, or he would be here. And again, I thank you. Vin, I love that picture. That picture really tells it all. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Now, Joe never lost a race, but there's a couple of us in here that did a few times. At least I know I did. But Joe had a heck of a track record. So that concludes our little ceremony today. We have some food up here. We have scratch-off lottery tickets in honor of Joe, because that was his favorite thing. That's all he wanted. So we'll have that, mingle a little bit. Again, I want to thank everybody for being out here today. Our elected officials that came from outside of the town to come in here and join us. Thank you very much for being out here. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great day.